Oh, where to start? So many different phones, new flagship, new updates, and new features this year. We're going to be comparing 3 different phones, the Razer Phone 2, the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, and the iPhone XS Max. We'll be comparing a general overview of who these phones are targeted for, a spec overview, a camera comparison and video quality comparison, and pricing features and overall differentiators that these different OEMs have really pushed to differentiate their product from the market and get you to purchase them. First up, we have the Razer Phone 2. Now this phone's pretty awesome, even for its second iteration of the original Razer Phone line. Remember, this still has the same chassis and overall design language as the Nextbit, which they purchased a few years ago. The Razer Phone finds success in very similar philosophies that they've had in their laptop and PC gaming line, and it's bringing great hardware, targeting it towards gamers and those features, and letting the stock OS run through. And the main features here are what gamers would find important. Refresh rate on the screen, 120 Hz, which is double the amount of frames per second that other manufacturers have in the industry, and the only one being the iPad Pro with ProMotion that can match that. But again, that's a tablet, and this is the only one on a mobile device. Trade-off of OLED screen, it's still an LCD to give you that refresh rate, and it's still backlit LED, so it's not going to be the best picture, but talking to gamers, it's always a trade-off on resolution versus frames per second. So it's pretty awesome to see this on the phone and during your games or PUBG or Fortnite on mobile, but you do see the refresh rate on the phone itself, whether you're scrolling through apps or multitasking or app launching. So you have to literally see this on display. You're watching on a 60 Hz frame or standard refresh rate on the screen. See it in person and you can see how buttery smooth the transitions are, something that other phone manufacturers don't have. And so we're keeping Razer Phone as this part of this conversation because they've innovated, or they really focus on features for those that are very different than other manufacturers. And for those who feel like the innovations in the smartphone field has stagnated, this is a great alternative because, again, with the refresh rate, they also have 2 bold speakers. They're unashamed of them, and they make them the loudest. So compared to the other 2, it blasts very loud audio. It's great for putting down if you're getting dressed and want to put blast some tunes, or playing video games, playing music or videos. It's always the loudest in the room whenever I'm with friends. And also on the back, for your Razer enthusiasts, it offers what we've been clamoring for, an RGB logo, which you can change to a million different colors, have its spectrum breathing, changing to any of your color preferences itself. It's great that it's inside the metal chassis here. Wireless charging and waterproofing. So a lot of things they've kept up with what other manufacturers are doing. Wireless charging, waterproofing, but it's very different with the 120 Hz refresh screen and the audio here. So they really elevated different factors that gamers or tech enthusiasts would find important. And so if you're feeling like you finally want something different, you want to lay your phone down and know that you've broken out of the cycle of your standard OEMs, then yes, choose, you have the Razer Phone 2 as your option here. Great mobile gaming device, looks beautiful and buttery in terms of refresh rate, although not the brightest screen and not the sharpest resolution, although you'd be hard to really tell the difference day to day unless you compare the 2 together. Great style, it's different, it's innovative, and it has stock Android on it, and we could replace this comparison with a Pixel 3 here. A lot of the great things that I like about it would be very similar. The fact that it has Chrome as its default browser, Gmail as its default mail client app, it uses Messages, or at least Android's stock Messages app versus some other skin, Google Photos. So getting out of the way, letting Google shine through with the OS, but complementing it with great hardware makes the Razer Phone a great sell. People despise bloatware on the phones, and they really want a company that can dedicate and specializes in software services to run it. So just like with Razer Phone and their laptops, letting Windows run through without any bloatware, Razer's done the same thing here, and that's one of the great benefits of it. So again, it's a great refresh rate, a great second iteration stab at it, a great price point at $800, great speakers here, and awesome design with the RGB logo. It's something different for those who are gaming enthusiasts, tech enthusiasts, or feel like they finally want something a little different from the marketplace this year that has felt stifled in their iterative upgrades and resolutions. Next up, we have the Galaxy Note 9. And this is an awesome phone, especially for those who are big fanatics of the Galaxy Note series. And if you're choosing a Galaxy Note 9, there's very core reasons why you choose this. Namely, it has the largest screen in the industry and the most beautiful one. Samsung's been sitting on OLED for many years now. They've nearly perfected it to what they've wanted in calibrations in terms of color and photos and movie viewing that they can offer. And if you dispute that Samsung Galaxies have the best screens in the industry, just know that Apple and Google, for their Pixel line, purchased their screens from Samsung. So Samsung's been sitting on this for a while. It offers the best OLED screen, hands down, always the largest in the pole position, a millimeter larger than last year's Galaxy Note 8, and with a beautiful infinity edge finish. It's something that the iPhone, unfortunately, with as thin as bezel as they can get, they don't have the patented edge finish that the Galaxy line has, especially in the Note 9. And you're going to choose this because it has the largest screen, because it has the strongest core features that us phone users generally want. Customability, expandable storage, 512 gigabytes internal with a 512 gigabyte up to 512 gigabyte additional micro SD for almost a terabyte of storage. A great camera, definitely top 5, not as strong as the iPhone or the Pixel 3. It's a great machine for taking photos. It has your Samsung Knox security features. It features a great battery life. It gets the core proposition of what you want in a phone. Great screen, good enough speakers, a stylus, large battery, expandable storage, and the customability of Android. And so if you're a content consumer, and that's 90% of what you'll be doing on your phone, whether it's taking pictures, looking at them, browsing through social media, and really wanting the best in-class display on the market, then yes, choose your Galaxy Note 9. And the design for this, very similar to last year's Galaxy Note 8. And it has great waterproofing, great finish. It has the power of Android, but also Samsung loves to differentiate themselves, for better or for worse, with their in-house apps. Now, you wouldn't call it bloatware because they've really done great jobs and great strides in making it seamless, because most users won't find that they have any problem with messages that isn't the stock Android messages or the Samsung photos or the Samsung just overall backup and transition. Going from Note 8 to Note 9 was pretty seamless now that I have a Samsung account. So they've taken a lot of measures to really amp up the weaknesses of Android and really try and make themselves similar to iPhone. And they have Samsung Health suite of apps. They have the Samsung hardware coming out. There's literally a heart sensor here. They've always been first in their waterproof displays. So Samsung's great because it addresses the core needs of a phone user, again with the display and battery life and expandable storage, and offers a very powerful in-suite house of apps which can really be shown with Bixby, love or hate. It's there, an AI-focused assistant that really tries to bring together the Galaxy suite of apps. And so Samsung will differentiate themselves by having almost an OS within an OS of Android, and really having these different features and options. Now, again, if you're a stock Android users, you have the ability to not use any of the Samsung apps. It's interchangeable, it's strong enough, and they are trying to compete with the seamlessness of the Apple phone. Again, Samsung Galaxy Note 9 gets a lot of things right. It's for the Note series. The pen, and even the pen this year, has Bluetooth functionality, so it can use it as a remote to take photos or to transition slides, and your classic just writing notes in low power mode. So it's an awesome phone. You're choosing this because it has the best display in-house, largest always, and largest battery. And last but not least, we have the iPhone XS Max here. And I personally have done a review on this already, so feel free to check that out. But this is the flagship, and this is the golden standard that all the manufacturers always mention in their different keynotes, this is the one to beat. It's always the golden standard. Now the iPhone XS Max takes a lot of design language of the iPhone XS. If you're going to choose this, it's because you want the larger screen that the iPhone XS last year didn't have. Now a lot of the spec bump internals, the A12 Bionic chip, and the Face ID features that have all your cool Animoji features. That's why you choose an iPhone, because it has the best design, and it's calibrated more accurately for its colors because it has a great hand-knit quality design that you expect from Apple. It has a support from Apple stores, a great OLED panel here, it has Face ID, but let's talk about the operating system, which people love. It's almost a prison that iMessages has been the golden standard in terms of its seamlessness and all its app integration. And if you have a Mac or an iPad, which is the strongest tablet on the market, so its strength here is the Apple ecosystem and how tight-knit its software is. It has the second best mobile camera on the market, second to the Pixel 3, but this is a very, very good camera compared to the other two, which we'll go into. It blows them out of the water in terms of its accuracy, and it's pretty impressive. And of course, it has its waterproofing and wireless charging. It's aluminum finish with the glass back. It's a beautiful phone, and it's very fast. So you want the build quality of Apple and their Apple ecosystem for those who've been on iOS for a long time, almost too afraid to change, or they have no complaints whatsoever and can't imagine themselves changing from it. So we'll compare the iPhone, and you're choosing this one because you love almost the luxury feel that Apple products have, the great cool Face ID and its features that is still 2 years above the competition, and the fact that it has a great camera right here for video and photo taking quality, which is one of the main features that you target on. You want great features, you want a great display, and you want a great camera, and you want it all to work in a great secure ecosystem that Apple has proven again and again that it has. You choose the iPhone because of this great, beautiful display. It's well calibrated. It has great Face ID as a security feature. It has great photos and a great build, great finish, and the very, very strong and almost dominant Apple ecosystem of iMessage and their Photos app and iCloud and its integration with their other hardware products and services. So, deservedly so, you have your Apple fanboys out there or your Apple haters, but they have a great following, and this is the top of the market that everyone loves to beat. So this concludes our first part of this series, which is a general overview. Next, we'll have real camera footage from all three phones, including videos, so you can really see the differences between the two. We'll talk more about the actual specs, look at the displays, the differentiators, and some pricing, and go into overall preferences. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.